With West Central FS is crop specialist Brendan Marshall. Good morning.
Good morning, Vanessa.
Good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I gave you the weather forecast for the week.
Yeah, and I was frowning the whole time.
Yes, break down the agronomics of everything for us. It's been an interesting spring.
It has been a very interesting spring. So in my territory, I basically take care of the northern half of Warren County, a little bit towards the south. But, we got in late February, beginning of March, got our ammonia on, great conditions, great weather, good soil, got our fertilizer on, sat around, twiddled our thumbs, waited to start spraying, started doing some bean burn down towards the end of March, beginning of April, and we were getting along really good, but now it's kind of hit and miss. You get a rain one day and a rain the next, as everybody knows in there. But if we could have 4 or 5 days, I think here in Warren County, we'd be in pretty good shape, personally. I mean, not only my business, but with getting the crop in and things like that.
Maybe come this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we might be able to see that 3 days in a row. There was still a chance of rain,
right?
But it was low at this time. So we're seeing more rain in certain places, too, than others. I'm hearing down around the Macomb area, some 4 or 5 inches of rain compared to up here.
Yeah, Macomb's gotten hit quite a bit. You get in the southern half of West Central's territory, they're probably a little wetter, but they're also a lot farther along than what we are. I mean, there's a lot of corn up that's in the southern part of our zone. A lot of soybeans are up, but, soybeans went in, I think, a little quicker than what they have in the years past. In the cold weather, they're a little bit more resilient. So there's quite a bit of crop up. And even in our area now, I was driving around just this morning, and you can row a lot of corn. You can row a lot of soybeans. There's a lot of things that are up and going. And, even though it's wet, we're still looking at 70-some degrees today. Mm-hmm. We got down in the 40s last night, but we're not getting down in the 30s. So, knock on wood, hopefully we won't have one of those ugly frosts that come here a little bit later. But, the weather conditions when it comes, they are wet, but things are still warm. So, yeah. And that's what's good.
About how much crop do you think we have planted so far?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And that's a rough estimate because in my area, I could say there's just as much corn as what there is soybeans. I think that we would probably be over 50%, but in both crops. So you would still have to look. Maybe you still got a half to 40% left to get done up here, and that's just a rough guess.
Sure.
Rough guess.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's rained, and that it's sunny and fairly warm. We are seeing that for the rest of the month of May. That's good news.
Right.
That we're seeing those 70s, some upper 60s. Like you said, we don't want those temperatures going too far one way. Definitely. How are farmers feeling? I mean, are we still planting the same amount of corn and soybeans?
Yeah, I mean, we're still planting the same amount of corn and soybeans. Excuse me. I actually talked to 3 growers this morning before I came, and they're out looking at fields to see where they can and can't go. And all 3 of them told me the same thing. We're going to be a little bit more patient. We got some ground that's marginal that we could probably go on right now, but instead of starting here at 8 o'clock or 8:30 this morning, take a look at it again at 4 o'clock this afternoon, or 3 o'clock this afternoon, see what it looks like. And, the point is we're getting late. We're not getting late. We're kind of still in the wheelhouse, but you can go out and make a great big mistake right now by pushing something a little too quick that if you waited another day to let it dry would be better than to go in and push it. You make that mistake, and that's something you can live with for a long time.
Sure. Well, our farmers are smart. They know they want to have a good crop, and nothing's the good news is we don't have too much of a drought. We don't have too much water.
Right.
So those are the times when it's like, hurry up and get it planted. We're not in that position, right?
Right. No, I don't think we're in any kind of a hurry up. I mean, you look at a year ago, everybody wants to compare a year ago. Well, we were dry.
Yeah.
But we were cold. So you had crop that sat, you planted it, sat there for a week or 10 days in cold dirt. Well, now you can plant it, if it's in good conditions, it come up in 4 or 5 days.
Exactly.
So, I mean, things make up quick. And I remember years that were wet we had in the past, which, off the top of my head, 2019 was a wet year. And, there was a lot of crop that went in late. But when it all came about, it was all ready to harvest at the same time.
Right.
And the moistures are all down and everything else.
Well, that's good to know. Kaylee Foster is with us, too, our ag assistant. She's got a couple questions for Brendan as well.
So as we start heading into the season, I mean, you started talking about what we're seeing now, but what are some concerns that farmers are bringing up about the growing season?
Well, if we stay in a wet, warm pattern the way we are, that brings a lot more chance for disease. such as in corn and soybeans. It depends on what kind of storms and where they're coming from. There's always a chance for gray leaf spot, those kind of things. Everybody wants to talk about tar spot, but, let's wait and cross that bridge till we get there. Probably need to look at bugs this year. I mean, we really didn't have much of a freeze, which, who knows if the freeze is going to help or hurt on that. But it's going to be a good idea to scout your crops. And when I say scout crops, I'm talking about, you start getting up to 8, 9, 10 inch, 12 inch tall corn, things like that. Go out and take a look. I mean, don't just assume everything's okay. Don't drive by and say, oh, the corn looks green out in the road. Get out and walk. Get out and do a little walking. And another thing I would say is that the ground conditions we've had, the emergencies have been really good. And when I have walked in some of the fields, like I've planted multiple plots, and everything's coming up beautiful. We're getting a great stand right now.
And you did start bringing up the pests and the bugs. It's going to be a big year for that, especially with the cicadas. Is there any worry about this historic or big multiple broads or broads coming up?
Well, I mean, I've done a little reading on it, and it's going to have to be a wait-and-see approach. And so once you ask me in June, I might have a better idea.
I mean, it makes sense. They said
Right.
It's been the first time in 200 years we're going to get this overlap.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, but, we deal with other things. We deal with bean leaf beetles every year. We deal with the the Japanese beetles. They're all voracious eaters, but, they got to eat a lot in order to reach threshold. So, scouting.
Anything else, Kaylee?
I think I'm. Do you have anything else, Vanessa?
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing we got to do is make sure that we get these prices to increase. So
I can't help you with that one.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Do we know any more about the South American crop? I mean, it ended up being fairly decent.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably don't follow that as much as with other people, especially
Sure.
this time of year. I'm worried about our crop getting in the right way.
Absolutely.
And I can help you on how to grow it, how to harvest it, and how to make it healthy. But when it comes to marketing, there's a lot more people out there, a heck of a lot smarter than what I'll ever be at something like that.
And you feel like this growing condition, though, outside of the bugs, because you said the emergence looks good.
Emergence
we
looks
feel
great.
pretty good about it.
Right now, I mean, everything looks good. Everything looks good.
Good.
And that's a scary position, but it looks good. So you just, you cross your fingers and go day by day and just keep watching it.
I thought that's what you would say when Kaylee and I were talking about making sure we got you in, is that you would say everything looks good. How about, more rain this week? What's our moisture like? When do we have too much moisture?
Well, what's funny is like I drive around last week and was talking with some of my friends or people that I deal with. You get 2/10 of an inch of rain, looks like you had 2.5 inches by when you drive by there and you see it ponding. But a day later, it's gone. So that leads me to believe that we're probably not oversaturated, but we're at the right amount.
Okay.
But we start getting more and more and more, when we start having the ponds out there for 4, 5, 6 days, then we're going to have problems.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Right.
And again, outside of overnight tonight, it's just some chances of rain, 40%, 60%. So it's spring still.
I think we've been very fortunate. Down, as I said, the southern part of our zone, they've taken some big hits.
Yes.
And, I have friends down there that farm, told me what they've had, and we've missed those. And it seems like, the storms have split, go up the river, and then go kind of south and east of us. But we still catch it in the middle. But we're lucky to get, anywhere from 3/10 to a half inch instead of 2 inches to 2.5 inches.
Right. That's a good point.
Yes.
What else do you want farmers to know this morning on this Monday, May the 6th, knee deep in planting season right now?
Well, be patient. It all gets done. It all get done every year. And me, I'm the most impatient person in the world. My wife and everybody I work with knows that I am. They keep telling me, settle down. And, we've got better equipment than what we've had in the past. We can get a lot done. We can get it done quickly. But just do one thing, be safe when you're doing it.
Absolutely. That's our biggest concern, is safety for all of our farmers and people on the road. So, Brendan, thank you as always for the updates. And we'll be seeing you again soon to get another agronomy update. Shoot, 1 month from today, we'll be seeing you, or 1 month and 1 day from today, we'll be seeing you at Freezing for Food.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Brendan Marshall with us, crop specialist.